Ramos agrees PSG switch. De Bruyne to start against Italy. Liverpool's Gini replacement. Manchester United want Varane, and a transfer roundup all coming up in the next few minutes. As I'm your host, Matt Froelich. You are the One Footballers, and this is the Daily News. So first off, and Sergio Ramos has agreed a deal to join PSG, and the discussions were of course around the length of the contract, as they always were. Whether he was staying in Madrid or moving to Paris or anywhere else that was interested, apparently Bayern or Manchester City, he was always going to get a lot of money. It was just about the length of the contract. Real Madrid only wanted to offer him a 1-year deal where he wanted a 2-year deal, but now at PSG there is apparently a 2-year deal on the table, the second of which is a year that could be triggered by him and the club both mutually agreeing. He heads to join Mauricio Pochettino's side now as one of the most experienced defenders in the squad. I mean, he'd be one of the most experienced defenders wherever he went, but he's joining a very, very talented defence with the likes of Diallo, Kira, Marquinhos, Presnel Kimpembe as well, none of whom are over the age of 28. That's not to say they're experienced, but Ramos has literally done it and won it all within the game of football, and he can only help this side. A side that is getting a little bit younger at the back as well. If the signings of Achraf Hakimi and Gigi Donnarumma to go through, it'll be an incredibly young defence, and Sergio Ramos will do so well to pass on all his knowledge to the younger players around him in the defensive unit, as well as being helpful to, well, you know, those ridiculous amount of attackers that PSG have actually got. Apparently he's very close friends with Neymar, who he's been speaking to, and he's also got other Spanish speakers like Keylor Navas and Ander Herrera in the squad as well to make him feel at home when he moves to Paris. Next up, and Kevin De Bruyne is set to start the clash against Italy, and that is major news for Belgium. Angelo Mangiante, the Sky Sports journalist, has said that Kevin De Bruyne will be making the starting 11, and for the Manchester City midfielder to play after coming off injured against Portugal is a massive, massive boost. Unfortunately for captain Eden Hazard, the same thing can't be said, and it looks like he will miss out on the quarter-final. Anyway, what a huge game that's going to be. You've got Belgium, who have been brilliant so far in this tournament, have a 100% record against Italy, who have also been absolutely fantastic. So much so that former Italian manager Antonio Conte has given massive praise to Roberto Mancini's side, saying that you don't just go 31 games unbeaten by chance. Of course you don't. Italy are on an absolute roll. In fact, that's an understatement. They're the most informed team in international football in the world at the moment in the men's game, but they come up against such a ridiculously good Belgian side. I actually think Italy are going to lose. It's going to be very tight, and I could have easily just made a prediction of 1-1 and sat on the fence, but I'm not doing that. I'm going to go for Belgium to win 1-0. It's going to be a close game like it was last time, but I just think they've got so many quality players that can make the difference, and if De Bruyne is starting, it just spells more trouble for the Italians. But don't rule out Roberto Mancini's side also putting in a very, very good performance. If either of them goes through, it won't be a surprise because they'll probably both totally deserve it. Elsewhere though, tonight, and Switzerland take on Spain, and Switzerland's heroics from last game are obviously amazing. It was the underdog story of holding out for a draw, taking it to the luck of penalty shootout, but I'm sure if they were to do things again, they'd prefer a 0-0 or a 1-1 and then hold on to penalties. Not have to fight back from being 3-1 down in that crazy second half. Despite this though, Spain have been on absolute fire, especially in front of goal, and I can see them continuing this tonight with a 3-1 victory over Switzerland. Of course, if you want to stay on top of all the latest Euro 2020 content, why don't you check out the OneFootball app and the Volkswagen OneHub as well. Those links you can find in the description below. Next up then, and to Liverpool, who are still searching for a Gini Wijnaldum replacement, and their latest glance has taken them to the Eredivisie, where Ajax's Ryan Gravenberch is causing a bit of a stir. He's such a wanted midfielder, Liverpool are going to have to fight pretty hard if they want to bring him in, but he could be such a good replacement for the now PSG player and Holland captain Wijnaldum. Since leaving, there have been a few rumours about who could take over his place. Thiago I don't see as that box-to-box midfielder. Both Keita and Oxlade-Chamberlain spend a fair amount of time on the injury table and out of form, and Curtis Jones is a very, very good youngster, and the homegrown addition to that could mean he could get some more minutes on the field because they want to give him a chance, but also because he's a quality player as well. Having said that, who are they going to sign aside from Gravenberch if they can't get him and they really need a replacement? Well, the other names on the list are Brighton's Yves Bissouma, who's been linked with absolutely everybody, and on top of this there was Florian Neuhaus, but his release clause does no longer exist with Borussia Mönchengladbach, meaning the German side could probably hold out for a rather sizable fee. As to Jurgen Klopp's summer signings, well, we'll have to see where else he was strengthened after bringing Ibrahima Konate at the back, but it probably also has a little bit to do with who's going to go through the exit door. There's the likes of Shaqiri, Origi and Harry Wilson all still there, and all three 3 of them are apparently in talks about leaving the club. So if that happens, they're going to need some backup for the front 3, so you can expect a little bit more action to happen. Of course, they've also got Harvey Elliott returning from a fantastic loan spell at Blackburn Rovers. Moving on then, and to Manchester United, and after a very, very exciting day yesterday for United fans, including Angelina, after Jadon Sancho agreed to join their club, there is talk that Raphael Varane could also make the same switch in joining Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's side. There's been loads of talk actually around the Sancho deal that maybe they didn't need to spend 85 million odd on him, but they have done, and it doesn't look like the spending will stop there. With Raphael Varane entering the last year of his contract at Real Madrid, there are rumours that he could go for a cheaper price because, well, obviously Real Madrid, and especially Florentino Perez, doesn't want to be mugged off by the transfer market and end up losing one of the best defenders in the world on a free transfer. I mean, that's already happening this summer with Sergio Ramos. They won't want it to happen again. As for who's going to play Real Madrid's backline next season is absolutely anybody's guess. But if Varane does join the club, him, alongside Harry Maguire and the ever-improving Luke Shaw and Aaron Wan-Bissaka as well, Manchester United are building a strong title defence. They're adding Jadon Sancho to potentially bring a strong attack as well. Maybe, just maybe, we could see Manchester United challenge Manchester City at the top of the table next season. But we'll leave the Premier League predictions until maybe another few weeks, certainly until the Euros are done and a few transfers have happened as well. On top of this though, if they don't manage to bring Varane in, there are rumours that other centre-backs are being eyed up, including Sven Botman, Jules Koundé and Christian Romero as well. Finally then, we come to a quick run-up of the rest of the day's transfer news, and Takehiro Tomiyasu is the Japanese defender that Tottenham have bid for from Bologna, with a deal around 15 million euros plus add-ons set to be discussed today. Next up, and to Manchester United news again, and if they fail in their pursuit of Harry Kane, which doesn't look very likely at the minute, reports are suggesting they'll turn their attention to Everton's Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Ryan Bertrand, who left Southampton earlier in the summer, has agreed a 2-year deal to join Leicester City on a free transfer. And lastly but not least, we've released loads of cool content from our trip to Munich with Volkswagen. So why don't you click here or here to check out the car quiz and to check out all the other fun stuff that we got up to whilst we were away. That's all from me then, and until next time, I'll see you guys later.